Hello, on another episode of the Convo God podcast. Today we have a guest, Julia. It's a pleasure having you.
Hi, it's a pleasure to be here.
How you been since the last time you've been on the pod?
Good. I have a job now. I work in bridal, so that's
Oh,
pretty
okay.
good.
Today's topic is on siblings. How many siblings do you have?
I have one.
Are you the oldest?
No, I'm the youngest.
Okay. Describe the oldest sibling.
We're quite opposite. He's taller than me. He has a darker complexion than me. He's bigger than me. He's more quiet. He's more of an introvert. I'm an extrovert. He's protective. I call him like my second dad because he's protective over me. Then yeah, that's how I mostly describe my brothers.
Naturally describe the oldest sibling.
Protective, big teddy bear, more stern.
Okay. More like just everyone's sibling. Just
Okay,
yeah.
everyone's sibling.
The responsibility of the oldest sibling. How they're
Okay. I
stereotyped
think
to
they're
be.
older. The older sibling is kind of like a mix between like a parent and an aunt or uncle. So I think they do like help. They do help you when your parents can't. I think that's the best way I can explain it.
Even though you don't have any middle siblings, describe the middle sibling.
Oh, okay. My cousins. Okay, I can describe my cousins. The middle siblings kind of like the middle siblings, they help the big sibling out when they can, but I think they can have a little more fun than they can. So it's kind of like they're kind of like in the middle. They're like they have some responsibility, but not as much responsibility as an older sibling.
Describe the youngest siblings.
That's interesting. Okay, the younger sibling is kind of, I guess the younger sibling is kind of where like the parents almost got it figured out. They kind of know like how to raise them. I think when it comes to the younger sibling, they figure out like, okay, like this person is their own person. In some cases, yeah, spoiled. Yeah, some spoiled. Yeah, now that I think about it, the younger one is more spoiled. Could be more emotional, intelligent in some cases. I think their concept of punishment is different. Is the way I explain it.
What are some benefits that come with having siblings from the oldest child point of view?
So, like from my brother's point of view, I don't know. I really have no idea. What are benefits? Okay, what are benefits to having me? Well, benefits to having me as a younger sister. He always has. Honestly, I really don't know. Yeah, I really don't know what's it like in his case. To be honest.
Because I'm the oldest sibling, so
Mhm.
I formatted these questions based on the oldest child point of view. Even if there are some questions you can't relate to, if you could answer it the best way you can.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. So like for me, for example, benefits that come with having siblings with he's been role modeled from the parents to be the guy that's gonna take over after them. So it's
Mhm.
just like you can have fun, but it's just like like you have to make sure that everything goes right. So
Mhm.
when I have younger siblings and I see them talk and have fun, it's very interesting. Just seeing the various views I have versus how they have it.
Mhm.
It's interesting. What type of characteristic traits you think you would have if you were the only child?
Oh, okay, which is kind of funny because I grew up as the only child, so I can answer this question kind of well. I'm selfish. I really am selfish. Well, because I have friends, so I kind of have to like. There's my mindset changed when I have friends a little bit, but I don't like people touching or eating my food because it's my food. Why do you want my food? I think it's kind of weird. I don't share anything. I don't share anything. I feel like I don't. My space is my space. I do have to be a little more independent in that sense. What else? As an only child, I'm used to being by myself or like alone, especially when I was younger. So I think that's a trait. Like you're kind of just by yourself a lot. What other traits as a only? Yeah, I'm alone. It's always about me. Yes, I do have that concept of it's always about me. Like I am the center of the universe. Everything has to go my way. So when things don't, it's kind of weird. It's like, what you mean? You told me no, I can't do this. It's kind of weird. It's kind of like so. Yeah. That's a trait. That's definitely a trait I have.
Is that a trait you're trying to change in a way, like modify that type of thinking?
Yeah, because when I was in a relationship, I realized a lot of those traits came out. Like I was selfish, so I realized that like if I'm gonna be with somebody, I had to like compromise and not think about myself all the time. And then with like friends, I try to make sure that like it's not always about me. It is about us. Like so, like if we want to do it, we want to do it. Like I will voice my opinion. I would say like, hey, like my friends like to eat sushi. I don't like sushi. I don't like sushi, but I won't be like, oh, I won't be, oh, I don't like sushi, so we just can't go to the restaurant. Like, no, if you want to go to a sushi restaurant, I'll go with you. I just get like tempura or something, or I get like a cake, right? So I've learned to compromise of law, which is so interesting. I did not learn how to compromise when I was younger. So to learn how to compromise now is the interesting thing. But I'm like, okay, I see the benefits to it. It's not about me. I'm not a center of the universe. Other people live their lives. There's other people in the world that I have to think about. So I really do have to learn. I'm not here by myself, and then I do have people around me. And then me being alone, sometimes actually this brings up an interesting point. So like right now, I have friends that actually like want to talk to me about like little things, stupid things, just like little things. So to have people around you kind of all the time or they want to include you or something, I think that's also something I'm learning to deal with because like I'm not always alone and I don't always have to isolate myself. So it's kind of just learning, just making sure I say those things in my head for me to be like, oh, so I really don't have to be alone. I like to be sometimes. Sometimes I do need like my calm space, but like,
Is the oldest sibling the closest thing to the parents?
yes, especially my brother. Yes.
Oh, okay. Do they act as the second parent unknowingly?
Yes.
Certain way, like
Yeah, no.
sometimes through the way they talk, like do they talk in a way where they directly know they're acting as a second parent, or is it something that just naturally comes out?
That's the thing. I don't know if my brother does do it. I don't know. Like for me, there's some times where I'd be like, oh, he thinks he's my dad right now. But then there's some things where I'd be like, I don't know if he actually thinks that way. He just acts that way. Like I know, like with how I dress sometimes. Let's say if I wear a crop top, then he loses his mind. He's just like, why you let her out the house naked? It's kind of like I have on a crop top and jeans. So I don't know when he does that. I don't know if he's thinking like my dad or he's just like this is how he reacts.
Are the actions of the youngest siblings things that the oldest low key wants to do in a way?
I think generally, but I don't think my brother does. 'Cause I think we're just so
Generally.
generally. Yeah, I think generally in a general
Okay.
sense.
Yeah. Okay. Was there ever a time you were crashing out on your parents and your brother had to step in and be the enforcer?
No.
Okay.
No, yeah, no, I was never the type to crash out on my parents. My dad was in the
Okay.
military and my mom does not play.
But have you ever seen it? Like friends,
Crash
they're
out.
crashing out
Crash
on
out
their
on their parents.
parents.
Have I? Not in real life. No,
Oh,
not
okay.
in real life.
Do you think the oldest sibling is the bridge connecting the parents to the youngest sibling?
Oh, like generally or in my situation?
Generally, these
Oh,
are you could so
Oh, yeah.
basically,
Mhm.
the questions are based on your experience, but if you could also imply just in general.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I feel like if I say generally, that's like putting it in like in a type of box. I think a lot of different relationships are different because it's like even when I think about my relationship with my brother, no, I don't think my brother connects me to my parents. And then when I think about my other friends, older siblings, no, their siblings don't connect them to their parents. So I feel like it's easy to say, yeah, they generally do, but thinking about other cases that I know of, I don't think I can just say generally, or I can't put everybody in that box.
As the youngest, is there a certain way you have to communicate with your parents and let me better phrase myself. As the youngest, is there a certain way you communicate with your parents that's different from how your older brother communicates with them?
Yes, actually, I'll call my parents, my mom, my dad, my brother will call them by their name, which I think is interesting. I find it weird personally, but my mom's like, it's cool. So like, I think like just by name alone, we communicate with them differently. Me, I'm a lot like my mom. I act like my mom. Well, okay, I have the personality of my mom, but I act like my dad. So it's kind of like me and my mom. I think like now we're at a point where like my mindset is kind of her mindset a little bit. And then I just act like I just act like my dad, which is kind of funny. So it's kind of like no, I know it's kind of like with that relationship, my older sibling didn't bridge that gap.
Which siblings, it could be based on your experience or just in general, which siblings do you feel like have to control their temper the most? Because if they don't, it will affect the whole household.
Oh, that's an interesting question.
Youngest, middle, or oldest?
That's the thing. I don't know, cause I feel like maybe like the oldest. I feel like maybe the oldest, but maybe the youngest. I know. I just feel like maybe the youngest, cause like I think like maybe like the vibe shifts a little bit, like the energy can shift. But at the same time, if the youngest always acts like that, then it's nothing crazy. So I think it is the oldest. Now I did that math equation out in my head. I think it's the oldest. Yeah.
And do you feel like that is, since he's like the second in command, since he has that second in command role?
Yeah,
Type.
I believe so. Cause I think like with the oldest, I feel like the oldest doesn't really act out as much as the younger person could or the younger sibling could. just like quick math. Quick math says they usually don't. I mean, there's a lot of cases that are different, but I think the oldest doesn't usually act out as the youngest would. So I think, yeah.
But when he does, it's major.
Yeah, I think it's definitely major for sure.
Or when she does, it's major.
Shit, he doesn't.
What do you see in your older brother that you wish you had?
Oh, that's so interesting. He has the ability to say no. Like, there's some things like it's kind of like if he doesn't want to do it, he's not gonna do it. He gonna be like, yeah, I don't want to go here. Yeah, I don't want to do this. And I feel like when he says yes, it means something. Oh, like this time I had a cockroach in my car. I was so scared, and I called him and I was like, hey, can you come and kill this cockroach in my car? And he was like, yes. And that means he really likes me. He could have easily said no. He was like, I don't feel like driving there. But like for him to say yes is a big thing. So I kind of wish I had his ability to say no more often. And I just wish I had his. I guess I wish my yes. I just wish my yes and his. I wish like my yes has as much power as his yes does. Basically.
What does your older brother see in you that he wishes he had?
I don't know, but maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'm more outgoing than he is, but I don't know if he wants that.
Siblings get older and you have to adapt. Siblings get older regardless of whether they're young or older. When their age, when the oldest gets older, the youngest gets older, the middle gets older. So how do you have to adapt to how you talk to your siblings as you guys are getting older? Like, do you still treat them as siblings or you got to treat them as adults?
Oh, I still see my brother as a sibling because I always see him as a sibling. I think I'm always will see him as a sibling. I think now, I don't know. I think like now as we grow up, we can talk to each other like as people. So I feel like some things I say he would. I feel like some things I say he will understand now because like he's been through it. Now I'm going through it. So I think he understands my mindset a little more. So I think I can talk to him as a person, but like I know he's always going to be my brother at the end of the day.
From your brother's point of view, you're always going to view your brother as a sibling from the youngest child point of view.
Yeah.
But do you feel like from your brother's point of view, being the oldest child, there was a breaking point where he had to realize that the youngest sibling is getting older and I have to start treating my sister, my youngest sister, as an adult, because it's different from both point of views. Since you're the youngest, you're always going to view him as big brother, so you're always going to view him as a sibling. But do you feel like from a older sibling point of view, there comes a point where there's a transition between sibling to an adult as they get older?
Yeah. Oh, then from our brother's point of view, then yes. Yeah, I feel like I would like to think I would like to think you all would see me as his sister, but I think yeah, because I think like how I am from high school to like college is definitely different. So I think like now he understands like all right, like I'm growing up, especially like now since like I'm out here adulting and driving and getting up and going to work every day in this constant cycle. I think like now since I'm beginning my young adult life, he sees me as more of an adult now. So yeah.
Because I feel like when we're the oldest, you have to be self-aware enough to know when to treat them like siblings, when to treat them like adults. So you gotta be in and out with it. Like put them in their place, but then treat them like adults, and you know, just how to just switch in and out. You're the youngest. Would you say that you've been spoiled?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of my whole personality.
Okay.
So yeah.
Would you admit that you are bratty?
Now what?
That you're bratty?
That I'm bright?
Bratty.
Oh, bragging.
No, bratty.
Bratty. Oh, that's so funny. They would say that. I would not describe myself like that.
Okay,
Maybe like
so-
a brat's doll.
Okay.
But like
So
I
you
would
rather
never-
be spoiled. You rather be considered spoiled, but not bratty.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the difference?
Well, I think like in my case, I feel like in my case, so that I feel like I do come off as spoiled, yeah. But like in a weird sense, I worked hard for it. I did work hard being spoiled. It's kind of in a weird statement, but I did work hard being spoiled. Like I had to keep my grades up. I had to keep my room clean. I didn't do a good job of that, but so it's mostly just like schoolwork. I think that if I had a good grade, then yeah, they didn't really say no. I was always like a sociable person, so they always knew. I think when my mom and my dad saw how many friends I made, they were like, "Oh, she has a lot of friends. She's probably going to ask us for like sleepovers and parties and skating and stuff like that." So, which is so funny. I remember this one time my mom said, you have a lot of friends. So I already know. She was like, just tell me if anything comes up and I'll let you go. Do it. So yeah, I had to be good at school. I feel like I had to be good at school, but I also had to make sure I had like my stuff together. So I had to make sure. So let's say I was going to like a skating party. I had to make sure who was the birthday kid, who was going, was any parents going, have their parents met my parents, what time it started, what time it ended, and stuff like that. So I feel like I really had to make sure I was good at school. I had to make sure that like if I went anywhere, I had to have like a whole itinerary list. Like I had to make sure like I had it together. I had it together. That was usually just it, cause like I didn't really wash the dishes. Didn't really keep my room clean. I mean, I was a good kid. I was a good kid. I was straight. I didn't cause any trouble. I feel like I didn't cause any trouble because I've seen. Like, it's not like my brother caused any trouble, but it's kind of like I've seen like if he did something, I saw how my mom reacted, so I didn't cause any trouble. And you know what they say? Boys always try to see how far they go with you. Girls are kind of like cool. And I was an emotional child too. I was an emotional child. So I really didn't do a lot of bad things for my mom to say no. I feel like the only time my mom said no was when like I got a bad grade. Like if I got a bad grade or if I failed a test or something. That's kind of when she was like, "Oh, well, if you can't like pass this math class, you can't go to this party."
Do you feel like the youngest siblings are naturally emotional, or do you feel like that was just your situation? And do you feel like if the youngest is viewed as emotional, do you feel like that plays a factor into them being spoiled?
Hmm. That's so interesting. I kind of want to say yes, but I don't want to generalize it because I'm thinking of me.
Or do you feel like parents view the youngest as emotional, which is why they spoil them?
Oh, no. No. To that question, no. I don't think so. I think for me, no. I'm just a very emotional child. But I don't think the parents view the little one as emotional. No, they don't. Because I remember when my cousin came over and when we kind of like babysit for him a bit, when he would like cry over every little thing, my mom was like, he's just a baby. Like, let him be a baby. So, like, no. I would just emotional for sure. I'm just an emotional child.
Because there's even a difference in the beatings that the oldest get that even
The
the
youngest.
youngest won't receive. Like they'll go crazy on the oldest because it's like you're supposed to know better. Versus the youngest, they're like, we kind of view you as you're the
Yeah.
youngest, and we have this generalized viewpoint on how the oldest
Yeah.
siblings is gonna
No,
be.
that makes sense. But I don't think it would. Well, in my case, no. I feel like in my case, in some cases, no. Because I feel like there were times where like if I would be upset, my mom would just leave me alone. She would just be like, I'm just gonna let you cry by yourself, right? And then even like now when I'm babysitting kids, like there's like this one girl who I'm babysitting, she just like cry at every little thing. And I told my mom about it. She was just like, oh, well, in the black household, if you keep crying, we're just gonna ignore it. So I think it's just like in some cases, I think in some cases, like no, but and I think like in my parents' case is interesting because like they're like country black people. So like for them, they didn't really have this space to show their emotions a lot. So like with me, so with me, my mom didn't show a lot of emotions growing up. So then when I showed all these emotions, she was kind of like confused. She's like, "Why are you crying?" So then she went back to how she was as a kid, and she don't remember crying at the same things I were. So I feel like yeah, no, she just birthed a very emotional child. But I don't think the youngest one is always emotional. No, I don't think the youngest one is always emotional. And if they are, sometimes people don't really pay that much attention to it. Different cases.
Let's not ignore the middle child. So the middle child, because we're talking about the youngest, it seems like we're debating between the youngest and the oldest. Let's talk about the middle child for a minute. So the middle child, it's like he or she can choose whether they want to have inputs or attributes of the youngest and the oldest. It's like that could be in and out. So it's like, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, a little bit. Because when I think about middle children, I just think about my cousins on my mom's side. Because he has 4 kids, an older daughter, an older boy, a middle boy, and a young daughter. So I just think about their dynamic anytime I see them.
Okay. So it seems like the middle child is more versatile because it's just like I can pick and choose what I wish to be, and I won't be harshly punished.
No, that makes sense. Because there's this cousin. His name is Michael. He's so mean for like no reason. And I don't know if he chooses to be mean or that's just the kids nowadays. But like He is such a mean little person. I don't know
Mm.
why. But I feel like if he chose to be mean, let's just go down this rabbit hole. But if he chose to be mean, at least he had that choice. And of course he has like a older brother to where he can like test that out, go through the waters a little bit. But I do feel like the middle child, they can take traits they like, and I think they become a little more of their own person with it.
Do parents secretly have a golden child?
Yes.
Okay.
I think they do. I think it's just some things
Do
what
they
they
try to
say.
show it?
Oh, in my case, no. But I think it's just some things that they say. I think like some things they said like, "Oh, you're gonna get me at the ghetto," or "Yeah, we're betting on you. We're rooting for you." I think it's just some things that they say. It's like, "Oh, so I'm gonna be the one that make it." It's kind of stuff like that.
Do you feel like the oldest child ran so that the youngest siblings could walk?
In some cases, yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
because I remember when my brother was going through a time where he was going to like different colleges, trying to figure out what he wanted to do in life and stuff like that. And then my mom tried to send him to the military because I guess at some point he stopped trying. I guess like he stopped trying, and she kicked him out the house because she was like, "You're not doing enough. You're just sitting here lying around my house. You're going to South Carolina with your granddaddy." So I feel like looking at that growing up, because I remember I think I was like middle school because I understood what was going on. I was in middle school when that happened. So seeing that in middle school, it just made me think of like, oh, okay. So like when I graduate high school, we always talked about it. My mom said when I graduate high school, I had three choices: a job, it was either school, a job, or the military. Those are my three choices. So I did school, and then now it's what I was job, right? But like I guess like seeing how my older brother was treated in that time just made me think like oh, okay, so I really have to have a plan for my life and what I want to do.
What's a classic story that you and your older brother share amongst each other and you guys can always relate to?
You know what's funny? I think we're gonna pick different ones, to be honest. He's not gonna pick this one, but I like the story. There's a story I remember. So we were in a neighborhood and we were having fun with his friends. His friends were older, and I played with like their younger sisters. And I remember there was a time we went up the hill, we played up the hill, and I remember we was out like so late. It wasn't even like so late. It was like after 8 o'clock, but it was like so late to us at the time. And I remember it was dark and the street lights came on. He was like, "Oh my gosh, we gotta get back home. It's getting late." We had to make sure like they don't like find out that we was out so late. So I just remember running down the hill with my brother back to the house just to make sure we was back in the house on time. So they didn't figure out we was out at the house so late.
What do you think would be your brother's version?
Oh, I think he said something about me pouring milk on his little game device. I don't remember that. I think I remember spilling milk. Pouring milk sounds a bit dramatic, but I'm lactose intolerant. Like, why was I even drinking milk in the first place? Maybe I was eating cereal, but
You mind recalling that story?
that's the thing. I don't even remember. Like, I think I had a bowl of cereal and I was moving, and I think maybe, like, I think I bumped into something and I just spilled milk on his game console. But, like, on one hand, at the time, I'm trying to think, was it in the living room or was it in his bedroom? Because if it was in his bedroom, then why was I in his bedroom? He never let me in his room. But it was in the living room, then that's a different story. That's a different story. But like I really don't remember that. If anything, the one story I remember with milk was when I tried whole milk for the first time because I was like, I didn't understand lactose intolerantness. So I was like, let me try whole milk. And I drank the milk and I felt immediately bad. And I felt like so bad. And I was like, oh, I feel so bad for wasting it. So I went outside and poured like the whole bowl down the drain. So that's my story with milk. I don't remember nothing about no game console.
The bond you have with your siblings, where else does it translate to? What other
Ooh,
aspects of life does it
I know.
translate
I
to?
think relationships for sure, cause I like dudes that are the older sibling. Like if I like a dude and you're the older sibling, that's like a good sign to me. Or I tend to like be attracted to dudes that are the older sibling in like their sibling relationship.
Is it possible to be lonely even if you have siblings?
Yeah,
Okay.
especially with us because we're like 10 years apart. So I think that there were times where like I couldn't talk to him. There were times where he could have talked to me because like not only are we like a boy and a girl, we're 10 years apart. We like different things. He's an introvert. I'm an extrovert. The only thing we really had in common was like, I think we went to the same high school, but that wasn't until like years. It wasn't until like after he graduated. So it was kind of like there wasn't really anything we could talk about when I was growing up.
Despite the differences growing up? How did you guys find a way to reconnect?
It was like random times. Wasn't really high school. I think it was like sometimes like me graduating. When I graduated high school, I think there was a little connection there. What was it? Honestly, I think it was like when I went to school because he first went to SCAD. I remember when he first. I remember the first time he went to SCAD. It was kind of like before how it is now. He lived like in a little hotel type of situation, and they had a freshman party. It was like a barbecue. It was a pool party barbecue. I was like, oh, I'm coming here. They have a pool. So here's why I went to SCAD. Funny enough. So I think like when I went to SCAD, and I think once I started figuring out like our mutual likes, like he likes art, I like art, I like food, he like food. I think like the older I got, the more I started to learn about him as a person. I think that's when we kind of like reconnected, but that was like, yeah, it was college. We started to do that.
Why do you think everything falls back on the oldest sibling, regardless of whether the outcome is good or bad?
I guess because they're the ones with the most responsibility after the parents.
What's an inside joke that you still use with your brother that's most likely going to last a lifetime?
You know what's funny? He tends to like girls that look like me. I think that's so funny. I guess, well, I mean, y'all know the joke now, but like a lot of his girlfriends are short and light skinned, or he likes foreign women or foreign looking women. So I just think that's so funny. What's another inside joke? Oh, there's this joke about how he only gave a girl one earring. It's kind of hilarious. What's another inside joke? Is there another inside? No, I think like those are like the only, because like there are inside jokes I have with my mom, but those are inside jokes I kind of have with him.
Would you say you got away more as a kid?
Yeah.
Okay. How did that factor affect your relationship with your brothers over the years?
I mean, I think when I was younger, I used to get on his nerves for sure. But when I was like in middle school and high school, I think it just changed a lot. 'Cause I think like in middle school and high school, I think I got like a lot more responsibility. So like if I didn't do it, I did get in trouble. But I think in that time, he was like off to college, or he was in South Carolina, or he was just doing other stuff during that time. So it's kind of like by the time it got to me, he wasn't really there that much, I guess, to enjoy it.
Has your sibling ever supported you through a tough time?
Yeah, I remember. Oh, I remember. Okay, my first semester at SCAD. Oh, SCAD was so hard. It still is hard, but SCAD was like so hard. And I remember I failed the class, and I could have got a C. That's the crazy part. I was like at a D, and I was a C, and I was only like a few points away. I think I was like only a few points away, and I was so upset. I called. I think I was trying to call my parents just to tell them, just to give them a forewarning. And then I think I called him by mistake, or he called me about something. And I called him and I was crying. I was upset. Baby girl was upset. I was calling. And he was like, and then he heard me crying. He was like, and I think he asked me, did you mean to call me? I was like, no, I didn't mean to call you. I was trying to call my mom. He was like, okay. So then I called my mom. And then he called me back. And he was like, were you crying? I was like, yeah. And he was like, it's not over a boy, is it? I was like, no, it was literally about a class. He was like, oh, okay, just to make sure it wasn't over no boy. And then that's when like I told him the situation. And he was like, oh, why can't you just talk to your professor just to see if you can do anything to bump your grade up? It doesn't really seem like a big problem, but during that time, it was a big problem. So yeah, that was the time. Oh, and when he came to kill the roach out of my car, oh, that was a big issue. He didn't kill it. It did fly out the car, but he did support me during that time, that scary time.
Was there ever a time you supported him through a tough time?
I would say no, but well, I don't know. I don't. When you say tough time, I think about like really hard times. So not like
it doesn't have to be a really hard time. Just like you felt like.
I felt like he was having a hard time. I mean, recently when he needed help with his car battery, so I think like he was having a tough time with his car. So yeah, I helped him like with that.
How about just like you helped him during a time when he had to make like a major life decision?
No.
Okay. Was there ever time there were any unresolved issues among you and your brother that just took a long time for it to be resolved?
No, not really.
Oh, okay. Are there any current unresolved issues? So you guys always been solid.
Yeah, we always been solid. We just been different. I think that's the thing. We just been different people. I think we always been different people. So we kind of just had to find, I think the problem was finding a middle ground with each other.
Okay.
Because we always just been different. We always been opposites. Kind of just finding different. But like, I mean, if I had a problem with my brother, it was nothing crazy. Like, I mean, like he may annoy me, yeah, but like I never had like a problem.
Would you say if you guys were very similar that there'll be issues?
More problem? Yes.
Okay.
I think so.
What games or shows do you and your siblings bond over?
Oh, we watch anime. So we watch Fire Force. That's one. He doesn't like My Hero Academia. Demon Slayer. He actually did introduce me to Demon Slayer. At first I didn't like the art style of it. I thought it was kind of interesting. I thought it was like I feel like the water effect and the character effect wasn't really matching. But then when I watched it, I was like, oh, this is nice. I just have to give it a chance. I have to give it a chance. So those two shows, because he introduced me to those two shows. And then Marvel movies. We don't bond over them though more because Marvel's going through a time right now. But I think like in the next phase, I think we're gonna bond over like the next phase of Marvel for sure.
What would you say is your brother's superpower?
Oh, that's really interesting.
Like a superpower trait that you as
He
a younger
protects his
sister?
peace. Yeah, he protects his peace very much so. I think that's his superpower.
What is his kryptonite?
He's introverted. Well, it's not nothing wrong with being introverted, but I think he's introverted a lot to where like, I think if he would have put himself out more, you just never know like what can come of it. But I think if he would put himself out more, some things may be different.
Last, give me 3 effective ways on how to have excellent dynamic relationship with your siblings
Oh,
that are going to last a lifetime, to where when they have children, the dynamic is still solid. Actually, I said 3. You give me 5.
okay, period. Find common ground. Like you're literally you're literally born from the same person. So like either one or the other. You're born from the same person. So like find common ground. It's there. You just have to find it. Choose something to bond over for sure. It can be something as little as food. Like my brother will buy me a 10-piece. And that's a good thing or a bad thing sometimes. But I think when he buys me a 10-piece, he like calms me down a little bit. What's the third thing? I would say do an activity together. I feel like doing an activity together because it's gonna lead to a good memory or at least a good story. So do an activity together. You can choose what you want to do. You can choose how many times you want to do it. But I think if you can do it like at least once, that would be cool. Ground food activity. Help them out, like help them out. Like for me, for some reason my brother doesn't like to buy gas. I mean, I get it, but like you need to go somewhere. So anytime he helps me, I give him gas money. Like I know like if he had to take me somewhere, I'd be like, you can use my car or I give you gas money. Pick whichever you want. If they need something, do something for them. Like for me, I do my brother's hair. Not often. He's so tender-headed. But I'll do his hair. What does he do for me? Well, he's a man, so I make him do man stuff for me for free. You said 5, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so common ground, food, do an activity. I guess give them money and do something for free.
Julia, thank you for this discussion.
Thank you.